In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. Imagine a book written over 1,500 years with many voices telling one story. The Bible contains 66 books, authored by different individuals across cultures. From ancient Israel to 1st century Rome, each text speaks to its time. The Old Testament, written in Hebrew, shares ancient laws and stories. The New Testament, in Greek, marks the beginning of Christianity. Did you know that most biblical manuscripts exist in Greek? Over 5,800. Yet, minor variants don't shake core beliefs, they illustrate a living tradition. How did we determine which books belonged in the Bible? The Council of Nicaea in 325 CE played a key role in this process. There are various interpretation methods: literal, allegorical, and more. Which method resonates most with you? Consider the first English translation, the Wycliffe Bible, from the 14th century. The King James Version in 1611 transformed the literary landscape. These translations opened doors to a broader understanding of Scripture. Bible studies encourage personal reflection and ethical discussions. They promote dialogues about faith and contemporary societal issues. How do ancient texts relate to our lives today? The story of the Ethiopian eunuch, Acts 8:26-40, demonstrates the beauty of guidance. He sought understanding of Isaiah 53, just as we often need help. Untold stories, like Lydia's in Acts 16:14-15, reveal women's essential roles in ministry. The gospel is inclusive, challenging norms and uplifting all individuals. Can we embrace these timeless stories to inspire our own faith? But it's more than ancient history, it's about us today. Engage with these narratives to foster understanding between faiths. Consider how archaeological discoveries illuminate biblical events. How does literature, poetry, parables, narratives enrich our reading of the Bible? The Bible is both scripture and art, filled with layers for us to explore. Are you ready to dive deeper into this journey? Join a Bible study and share your thoughts. Let's grow together. Before we look at the verses, we must understand the historical landscape. The Bible wasn't written in a vacuum. It emerged from specific cultures, languages, and political climates. Understanding the ancient Near East is like having a secret map that reveals hidden layers of meaning in every chapter. First, let's talk about the languages. The Old Testament was primarily written in Hebrew, with some Aramaic. The New Testament was composed in Koine Greek, the common language of the Mediterranean. Each word carries nuances that often get lost in modern English translations, making the original text incredibly rich. Think about the process of translation. Translators face a constant struggle. Do they translate word for word, or do they focus on the spirit and meaning of the sentence? This distinction is crucial because it shapes how we perceive the nuances of divine communication and human intention. Now, let's zoom in on the Old Testament. It spans thousands of years, covering the creation of the world to the period before the Babylonian exile. It is a collection of law, poetry, prophecy, and history, all woven together to tell a singular, epic story of relationship. Consider the Pentateuch, the first 5 books. These books establish the foundational laws and the identity of a chosen people. They provide the framework for everything that follows, setting the stage for the covenant between the Creator and humanity through the medium of law and grace. The Psalms offer a window into the human soul. Through these poetic songs, we see the raw spectrum of emotion, from the highest peaks of praise to the deepest valleys of lament. Each shows us that faith is not just about rules, but about an honest, emotional connection. The prophets, on the other hand, were the voices of conscience. They spoke truth to power, calling kings and commoners alike back to justice and righteousness. Their messages were often radical, challenging the social hierarchies and the spiritual complacency of their specific historical eras. Transitioning to the New Testament, we enter a world under Roman occupation. The tension of living under an empire is palpable in the writings. This political backdrop provides essential context for understanding the urgency and the radical nature of the early Christian message and its rapid spread. The Gospels are the heart of the New Testament. They provide four distinct perspectives on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John each highlight different aspects of his ministry, catering to different audiences and emphasizing different facets of his character. Matthew often speaks to a Jewish audience, emphasizing how Jesus fulfills ancient prophecies. Mark is fast-paced and action-oriented, focusing on what Jesus did. Luke provides a detailed historical account with a focus on the marginalized, while John offers a deeply theological and spiritual reflection. Then we encounter the epistles, which are essentially letters written to early churches. These aren't just abstract theories. They are practical responses to real-world problems. They deal with conflict, doctrine, morality, and how to live out a new identity in a very hostile environment. The book of Revelation adds a layer of apocalyptic imagery. It uses vivid, symbolic language to communicate themes of hope, ultimate justice, and the final victory of good over evil. It's a genre meant to encourage believers facing intense persecution by pointing toward a divine future. Why does all this context matter? Because without it, we risk making the Bible say whatever we want it to say. When we ignore history, we fall into the trap of anachronism, projecting our modern values and biases onto ancient people who lived in a different reality. For example, understanding the concept of covenant in the ancient world changes how we view God's promises. It wasn't just a legal contract. It was a life and death bond of loyalty that defined the very essence of a community's survival and its relationship with the divine. Similarly, the cultural norms regarding hospitality and honor in the Mediterranean era explain many of the parables. When Jesus speaks of a banquet or a lost sheep, he is tapping into deep-seated cultural values that his original listeners would have felt instantly and profoundly. Let's look at the archaeology. Discoveries like the Dead Sea Scrolls have revolutionized our understanding of how these texts were preserved. They provide a physical link to the past, proving the incredible care taken by scribes to ensure the integrity of the written word across centuries. Archaeology also validates the existence of cities, kings, and events mentioned in the text. While the Bible is a spiritual book, its setting is grounded in a tangible, historical reality. This intersection of faith and fact provides a sturdy foundation for many seeking truth. We must also consider the genre of the text. Reading a poem the same way you read a law code leads to confusion. When you recognize a metaphor, a parable, or a lament, you unlock the specific intention the author had for that particular piece of writing. Studying the Bible is like peeling an onion. Each layer you remove reveals something new, more complex, and more beautiful. It requires patience, humility, and a willingness to be challenged. It is not a task for the hurried, but for the contemplative heart. As you study, you might encounter difficult passages. Some parts seem contradictory or culturally outdated. Instead of turning away, ask, what was the author's original intent? And how does this truth apply to my life today? Context helps bridge the gap between then and now. The goal of this study isn't just to gain intellectual knowledge. Information without transformation is empty. The true purpose is to allow these ancient truths to shape our character, our ethics, and our understanding of our place in the vast, unfolding story of the universe. Think of the Bible as a mirror. As we read, we don't just see the stories of ancient people, we see the reflection of our own struggles, our own doubts, and our own capacity for hope and redemption through the lens of the divine. It is also a window. It allows us to peer into the lives of people who lived in vastly different circumstances, yet shared the same fundamental human needs for purpose, belonging, and a connection to something much larger than themselves. Whether you are a lifelong believer, a skeptic, or someone just curious about history, the Bible offers a profound exploration of the human condition. It invites you to engage with questions that have puzzled humanity for millennia. Why are we here? Where are we going? The journey of understanding is infinite. There will always be more to discover, more nuances to grasp, and more beauty to behold. Every time you open the pages, you are stepping into a conversation that has been ongoing for thousands of years. So, take your time. Bring your questions, your doubts, and your wonder. Let the history, the language, and the context guide you as you navigate this incredible landscape. The deeper you go, the more you will find that the treasure is real. Remember that the Bible is not a static relic, but a living dialogue. As you study, you might find that certain passages resonate differently during different seasons of your life. This shifting perspective is not a sign of confusion, but a testament to the text's profound and multifaceted complexity. Think of scholars as explorers mapping uncharted territories. They use archaeology to touch the ground where prophets walked and linguistics to hear the echoes of ancient tongues. By following their footsteps, you gain a clearer view of the cultural tapestry that surrounds every single verse and story. Ultimately, this journey is as much about you as it is about the text. Every discovery you make will shape your understanding of humanity, faith, and the world around you. Keep searching, keep questioning, and let the ancient wisdom continue to illuminate your unique path through time.